Well, hey, welcome back to the X Podcast. I am back here with Tim Moore, and we are about to wrap up 2022. How you feeling?
I'm ready for a new year.
You ready for a new year? It's so funny because 2022 obviously is just referring to the year, not an age. But earlier when I was walking through the building, I actually overheard you singing "Feeling 22." Was the Taylor Swift song? It's like I'm feeling. What? How's it go?
I don't know. I think you were the one singing it. Yeah, sure I was. Okay.
I heard it.
First of all, you don't know my disdain for Taylor Swift, do you?
You don't like Taylor Swift?
No, I don't like Taylor Swift.
This makes sense. You don't like Joy or Coffee or
I don't like
Memories or Emotions. What?
I don't.
What is it about Taylor Swift you don't like?
Her music.
You think she's too mid? You know what that means?
It's yeah. You know
what that means?
Yeah. I mean, but she's just. I don't know. Her music sounds desperate to me. Her voice sounds desperate. What? I don't like her voice. I know I might be one of the minority on this, but my wife does. My daughters do. I'm like, anytime, it's almost like fingernails on a chalkboard to me, her songs. And I told my wife, I was like, I don't know, like, what in the world is she going to sing about now she's getting married? Because everything she ever sang about was bad relationships.
Yep.
So maybe this is going to be the end of her career.
Well,
probably not.
That actually shows how in the dark I am. I had no idea she was getting married.
Yeah.
But I did listen to her new album. I thought 2 or 3 of the songs were great.
I thought it was bad.
You didn't even listen to it. 4 were good. Half of it was just okay.
You were literally making this up, aren't you?
I'm not. I listened to her.
You listened to the whole.
Yeah, I like Taylor Swift. I think she's great.
Oh, it's terrible.
I thought actually my favorite stuff is everything she put out during quarantine. I thought 20
Really? Mm-hmm. Wasn't that where she remade everything and said I'm going to re-release it?
It was folklore, and it was a lot. At first, I was like, oh, it sounds too sleepy, but it was a lot more like folksy, indie, a little slower. But I actually thought that entire album, the one with the one. Mirror Ball. She did the Exiles with Bon Iver or whatever. I thought that was great. I loved it.
Oh, and I like her song Wrecking Ball. That's cool too.
Wait, I think you think about Miley Cyrus.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Wrong one. Yeah, no, I thought her latest album was one of her worst.
Okay.
I did.
Well,
musically, everything. I thought it was trash.
You actually also don't listen to music. Can we just be real about it? Even in the gym, you don't listen to music.
No, I listen to books mostly and podcasts. That's true. It is true. I listen to music sometimes, but I just think her music, I don't know. It drives me nuts. Just something about her. So anyways.
Okay,
you did not catch me singing 22.
If you are driving down the road and you're listening to music and it's not worship, what is it? Pick one of 2 or 3 things.
Probably, honestly, 9 times out of 10.
Okay.
I'm probably in the car with my wife. It's absolutely country. That's my wife's favorite, hands down. Is her favorite music country.
If you're alone in the car,
I don't listen to music.
Okay, but
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't. If you're on a 6-hour road trip, you would not for a moment be like, man, I want to just put on some tunes, and you would never.
I would listen to books and podcasts the entire time.
The entire time.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I would. I wouldn't listen to music by myself. I wouldn't. And then what's funny is my wife, she never wants to listen to any kind of talking. She only wants to listen to music. No, I wouldn't. I probably would not. I go on a road trip, I'd be like, oh, here's an opportunity to listen to all of this book, or here's an opportunity to listen to all these podcasts.
Mm-hmm. I would probably be 70-30. So if I'm alone on a long car ride, it'd probably be 70% messages and podcasts and books, 30% music.
Yeah, I don't.
In the gym, 100% music.
No, it's a good learning time.
On a run, 100% music.
If I went running outside, I might do music.
Oh, that's when you would change?
I might do music.
Why?
I don't know. There's something about the run. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I would listen to. Never mind. In the past, I would have said music, but
okay.
Probably not.
So we got a little bit of a tradition. We've done it in different ways before, but it's the last podcast of the year, and 50% of us at the table are nostalgic.
That'd be me.
So that would not.
We talked about it last episode. I'm super nostalgic about certain Air Jordans.
I believe in the power of processing. And I think it's important to celebrate, reflect. If you aren't watching, he has his forehead against the mic because we're diving into potential human emotions and feelings. But I, just the other night, put on my ridiculous end of the year Christmas playlist. And
I did too. You should have heard these books. They were good.
And absolutely listened to a 15-year tradition, Counting Crows, Along December. And there's reason to believe maybe this year could be better than the last. Can't remember all the times I've tried to tell
Okay,
myself,
stop with
hold
the
on, these
lyrics.
moments as they pass.
So I will say,
Yep.
around Christmas time, I'll listen to Christmas music.
That's what your family does.
No, I do, but I probably won't in the car. But if I did, and it was Christmas time, I would maybe. I would. Yeah, I would. No, I would.
You'd put on NPR.
No, I would not put on NPR. That sounds dreadful.
So let's do at least just a few minutes of reflecting. And I kind of want to do what we did a few years ago. Let's start macro and go micro. So let's start globally. Sometimes it's crazy to look back on a year. So I don't know. I feel like life goes by faster and faster every year, and more things it seems like
That means you're getting
happens
old.
globally, societally every year, maybe. But let's look back on some of the things that happened nationally and internationally in 2022.
Winter Olympics.
Winter Olympics, Beijing.
And then what happened that same month?
You know what's crazy? I don't remember watching any of that.
You didn't. We did podcast episodes. You watched.
I didn't watch
zero
any of it.
Nothing. There were some cool stories. We talked about them on this show, but
Yep.
you didn't watch anything. So that was, yeah.
Hey, let's start with something really positive. Here, the people who
That
passed
was-
away. In
No.
2022.
Let's do that at the end because
Do that
I
at
think
the
some
end,
of
okay.
those have to do with the calendar.
What?
There were some specific ones that happened that were pretty significant, but I think
Okay.
if we're going like in order of the calendar, the first thing I can think back to is really, I skipped January. I don't even remember January. February, I
Mhm.
think about the Olympics,
Mhm.
and I think about Russia. And
Yep.
Ukraine.
Russia invades Ukraine, largest armed conflict in
During-
Europe since World War II.
Or right after the Olympics. Didn't they end and then it happened? I can't remember. It was like right at the end.
Yeah.
And remember during
It
the
was right-
whole Olympics,
yep,
they're all
it was right at
coming
the
in
end.
and they're moving all their troops. They're like
Right at
up
the
to
end.
300,000 troops along the border.
Yes.
At any moment now, something we're like, is he going to do this during the Olympics? I think the Olympics ended because
And then
it was February 26th I looked that one up. February 26th when they attacked.
all the troops were mobilized on the border for whatever reason. Everybody was ignoring
January.
the cries that they're about to invade. And
And
sure
then
enough,
they did.
they invaded. Largest armed conflict in Europe since World War II.
Yeah.
International condemnation and sanctions ensued. Nuclear
Gas
threats.
prices went up.
Yeah, continued. Oh, that's another thing in 2022, even kind of related to that, but continued inflation results happened. Don't forget about Will Smith Oscar slap.
Oh, was that? That was.
That was this year. Isn't that crazy?
Okay, hold on. There was other ones. How about this? I wrote this one down. Okay.
Yeah.
Monkeypox outbreak.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I know. That happened in April, May.
Monkeypox.
That's when officially got we thought, okay, we're going to go from COVID to monkeypox.
Mm.
But then it kind of died out.
And now we're in the middle of the tridemic.
Yeah.
RSV, flu, COVID.
Yeah.
Assassination of Shinzo Abe,
Yeah. I saw
Japanese prime minister for years and years and years.
that was pretty big
That
news.
was really big news.
First images of JWST came out in July.
Yes. The new
was July.
telescope. That was
Yeah.
crazy.
James Webb. And we've had some fascinating ones ever since then.
whole new era of
We've
science.
seen new things on the edge of the
The universe.
We've seen new things that might be the newest ones.
Pretty
Newest
insane.
stars, newest things. I mean, that's
And
pretty
by the
crazy.
way, if any of this bores you or intrigues you, most of these things, if you go back through the catalog of our episodes this year, we actually dialogue.
Oh
about.
yeah, we mentioned all.
But protests historic protests this year in China and Iran.
Iran. Yeah.
For there to be in countries like this that muzzle free speech and that can have violent repercussions for it, for there to be that kind of what was it, the Islamic, was it the Arab Spring, or whatever it was, or the Islamic uprising or something they compared this to
Oh really?
decades before in Tiananmen Square, especially for China. But then also in Iran, I forget what they compared it to. But anyways, historic
Speaking
protests.
of China,
Yep.
how about when Nancy Pelosi went to Taiwan?
Went to Taiwan.
And caused the whole stir that they were then test firing ballistics and rockets over Taiwan.
Yep.
And we thought we were headed toward a war over there and sanctions against China, and that was kind of messy.
Mar-a-Lago, January 6th
Yep.
trials. January 6th trials.
Mar-a-Lago finding thousands of documents that Donald Trump refused to hand over for whatever reason, and then it was crazy.
It's been a big year for Kanye.
I don't even know if there's anything to be said there. There has been a lot done. Queen Elizabeth died in the fall.
I thought
We're getting the fall.
we weren't talking about deaths yet.
Well, we were getting the fall.
Okay.
You had moved us all the way to fall when you got us to Kanye West.
Okay. So Queen Elizabeth dies.
Yeah.
and I don't know, maybe this is morbid, but it's just interesting. Like they had like 92 names of the historic figures that died, or not historic, but like well known in the arts and entertainment and political worlds that died. Here are a few, at least that I knew of or that stood out to me. Aaron Carter.
Oh,
just because he was so young and he was part of that whole era of Backstreet Boys. Instinct. Yep. Gaylord Perry, Bob McGrath, Kirstie Alley. 2 rappers, Coolio died. That takes me back to my 5th grade Gangsta's Paradise years. And what was his name? Is it Takeoff?
Takeoff
Was shot and killed in Houston.
Is that his name?
Yep.
Yeah.
Madeline Albright, Loretta Lynn, Ken Starr, former Defense Secretary Ashton Carter, Ben Scully, basketball star Bill Russell, that Leave It to Beaver guy, I can't remember his name, Ivana Trump, Ray Liotta.
You didn't get any of the ones I wrote down.
Bob Saget, Betty Davis.
Bob Saget.
You probably would not care about this one, but Scott Hall from NWO wrestling days when I watched wrestling. Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, they were part of the NWO with Hulk Hogan.
How about even bigger than that?
What's that?
Gorbachev.
Yes.
Gorbachev died.
Mikhail Gorbachev.
Christina. Dude, one I just found out about today. You may not know who he is.
Oh,
Twitch.
Yes.
Twitch.
He committed suicide yesterday.
Is that what it was? Was it suicide?
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's tragic. He's only 40 years old.
40 years old.
40 years old. He had stepped away from his career, and the last interview said he was happier than ever.
Well, so I remember him from So You Think You Can Dance. Like when he first came out, like he was incredible. And then he was on Ellen forever. He was her main DJ. He was like her almost like co-host for years.
Yeah.
On there. And,
so
that was crazy. That just happened. What happened yesterday? I just saw the news of it like when we saw it today.
Yeah.
So, which by the way, we're recording this in advance.
Yes,
we're off that
so
week.
There may be a lot. There may have been crazy things that happened since this recording, but it's been a huge year.
Hold on.
Yeah. What else?
I mean, we didn't even mention that the big hurricane that hit Florida.
Yep.
Sanibel Island is still a mess and can't get there.
Yep.
Except by boat. NASA's DART. You didn't even mention DART.
That's true.
Nothing's come of it. But I don't know. But they were trying to. They had to. Once it happened, I thought it was really cool. But then I think they had to analyze and go, how far did it knock the asteroid off course? Would this be something that would save the planet? Yeah. If we ever have an asteroid coming at us. No.
It seems like it was successful though.
It was a successful hit. Which, by the way, can you imagine?
I mean, this is a real life
an asteroid hurling at, I can't remember the speed, but I mean it was tens of thousands of miles an hour. I think maybe more than that, hurling by us, and we can launch something and hit it dead on. Like that is insane.
That's crazy.
I watched a video of it where just because it was real slow, frame by frame, you saw it, and then it. So
I'm
that was
surprised they didn't try it Armageddon style. You know, where they
land on it, drill a hole.
Land on it, drill a hole.
That was a great movie.
Great.
Another fascinating thing, I did not know this. We should have celebrated this back in November.
Yeah? What?
By the middle of November, they said that the world population hit 8 billion.
Wow. 8 billion.
8 billion. That's what it said. Happened in November.
When
I don't know how they count them all.
I don't either. When I was in elementary school, it was 6 billion. So I
remember when we crossed over
25 whatever years.
I remember when we crossed over to 7 billion. I remember it. Same thing. Like when they went.
In my lifetime already, we've grown 2 billion people.
That's 25%. No, 33%.
That's insane.
Of what? Well, 33% of what it was maybe when we were kids, little kids. But
how much is population control going to be
there has been population control in places. Like
China, population issues. How much is that going to be 30 years from now?
I don't know. 8 billion. So anyway, that's pretty,
Yeah.
And then obviously we talked about it in a previous episode, but nuclear fusion is going to change the world. And so,
but to me, I mean, I just think we've done plenty of podcasts on it. Culturally, it's been a pretty intense year of cultural, I don't know. I just feel like cultural values, culture wars have not gone down since 2020. I feel like they've only increased and heightened. I feel like left and right have become more and more polarized. There's a whole lot more conversation right now, more than ever before, around sexuality and gender and the future of America and species, but then also just geopolitically. It's not just Russia and Ukraine, but that disrupted the whole false peace world order. You see ties being strengthened of Iran, China, North Korea, Russia, nuclear. Did you see the other day?
Is it coming?
Did you see the other day? Japan announced this week that I think it's for the first time in decades, they're breaking their norm and beginning to collect offensive weapons. So they're beginning some sort of program of ground to air missiles.
Really?
And even just this morning, when we were recording this, in the Russia-Ukraine instance, another Russian commander is calling for nuclear weapons, and Ukraine is finally, for months, they've been pleading with the U.S. to send the most advanced
the
air defense
system, the Patriot or something.
Yep, and we're sending it. So there's just so much. I feel like this year has shifted global momentum economically and militarily in pretty profound ways.
Yeah.
All right, so that's global. Let's talk about, here in our context, church and ministry. Let's see if I'm going to read to you some of the series we've done this year. See if it's
right. I went back and looked at them.
Did you?
Different.
A New Way was the first message of the year. Was incredible.
Oh yeah, that was
incredible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
Different.
Different. I love the 7-on-7.
I love the
different.
X. Oh yeah, I forgot we did that one.
Unhinged, Disrupted, Swipe Left, Kings and Queens, Scary Faith. It's a pretty big year.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the Movies went big this year.
The movies.
Mm-hmm.
This is us.
This is us. This year, for me, it started off. Of course, this has been kind of a tradition most years for me for the last 7 or 8 years. But one of the guys on staff, Pastor Zach's been doing an incredible job of building kind of like a college young adult ministry culture.
Yeah.
And I went with him. We took about 20 or 30 to Atlanta for Passion Conference.
Yep.
I mean, 65,000 people fitting into the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
They let you go chaperone?
In the world. They let me go hang out.
They let you go chaperone?
Yes, and I got to show, and I surprised Zach. I had worked it out with Rebecca that is kind of like a late birthday present.
Yeah, you took him around.
He stayed behind an extra day with me, and I took him all over Atlanta. Got to show him Atlanta. So that was really cool. And then right after that, I think maybe one of my highlights, just want to give a shout out to Hope Mitchell.
Yeah.
We begin every year with prayer and fasting. And I had a really specific prayer. There's a specific role we were trying to cover, and was really kind of asking God to highlight. And Hope has been kind of a local hero legend around our church for, I feel like, a decade. And she was in town for Christmas, and I think things have been shifting for her. And anyways, long story short, she ended up moving from Nashville to
join the team
here, and it's just been has been a game changer.
Yeah.
And it's been awesome to have her. That's what, I don't know, that's been one of my, in like our context, one of my highlights of the year. What about you?
Well, I mean, I think probably my highlight of the year, I don't know if this is like personal or is this church related, was releasing the book.
You released a book. I have that on here.
But I don't know. That's kind of personal.
That's both, though.
Yeah, both. But
that's both, because you represent our church, and we did a whole series on it.
Yeah.
Had a whole book release.
That was just a fun season.
Yeah.
So that happened. At the same time that happened, we also recorded and released a live album. So
we released. You released your first book. Our worship team released first album.
No.
And it was at the same time.
Well, no, I released the book the same week we recorded the live album. We didn't release the live album until the fall. But that was a crazy week.
Mm-hmm.
That was a busy, crazy week. But so that was kind of exciting.
Yeah.
I feel like as a church we put out new stuff.
Yeah.
We put out new content.
Yeah. Whole lot of new content.
And so I feel like that was kind of an exciting part of our season. There was just one of the other things that I really liked was, we just finished it, our end of the year series. Kind of every year we try to end with a bit of celebration.
Mm-hmm.
We try to end with celebrating kind of some stories of people's lives. And I just thought the stories every single week in that series, we had a story or two.
Yeah.
And they were impactful. I think back to some of the ones that, I mean, all of them were incredible, in their own right. And even the prison ministry one that we shared, and just the heartbeat for that. And so it's just, I don't know, it's been pretty cool just to kind of relive those stories and just kind of as a reminder, like, wow, there's some significant things happening in people's lives where marriages are being changed and lives are being impacted.
Yeah.
They're different.
It's really hard to almost differentiate when you talk about church in our context, because there's what you see publicly, the social media stuff, the on-stage stuff, but then just internally, the people, we know their stories and their lives changed. Even for me, it started more last year, but I've talked a lot about, for me, Tommy and Paige, they're not just church, they're friends of mine.
Yeah.
But they started coming to our church, and so I've been able to continue to watch them personally because we're actually friends outside of church. Their whole lives continue to change, and their faith continue to grow, and the ripple effect because Tommy just has influence, both of them, but they brought people who their lives have been changed.
Yeah.
That we've highlighted their stories, who've brought people who their lives have been changed. So it's just been cool to watch. It sounds so cliche, the church be the church. And you brought it up the last 2 years, but to continue to see just the culture of our staff, the health of our staff, the health of our church. One thing, again, I don't know if this is church or personal, maybe both, but a personal friend of mine I've had for a lot of years, Joe Leggett.
Yeah.
We built a relationship with him. I got to go in January to visit his church again and to preach and represent you and our place and be able to kind of bless them. And then just 2 months ago, me and you
I went down
got to go
bless them
and be with them. And that's just been cool to continue to see them grow. And
I think one of the things that I love is the moments that we as a church have been able to make an impact in organizations like even Joel Leggett and his church, and being able to bless a pastor that's trying to start a church in Atlanta during this whole entire season during COVID. And so for us to be able to financially bless them and just other organizations that we've been able to give to throughout the year because of the people that have given to and through this church. Yeah. And so that always kind of just, I think that, it's like, we never it's not like a pat ourselves on the back. It's kind of more of a, I'm really excited, glad to be a part of something where people give generously so that we can make a difference. Right. Around not just inside the walls. I think sometimes the church has just been sadly known for what they do inside the walls versus the world feeling the impact of the church showing up to help and do things. And so I don't know, it's a good year. What else? What do you think is the greatest message you preached? Oh my gosh, I don't know. Oh, you know something else? I don't remember. I can't remember stuff. Another great thing is some people we really respect over at Mosaic or reminisce, art of communication. Oh yeah, we took that. We really got to invest a lot of communicators at the house and spend 2 months just learning from some of the greatest communicators, one of the greatest communicators ever. And I think we've seen the dividends of that. We've experienced the benefits of that. It's been really special. Okay. We did pretty good. We're doing pretty good. We've gone globally. Let's finish personally. Okay. Again, 50% of us at this table are nostalgic. And one of the things I do just telling you every year is I create highlights of the year. Okay. And I literally have 20 or 30. I've honestly... Wait. You have 20 or 30 highlights of the year? Sometimes, depending on the year. Let me see if I do that during the year, or you do that at the end? Towards the end. See, the problem I have is that I have such a terrible long-term memory. That's long-term. I don't... It's really hard for me to remember. And so sometimes it's like big things. It's like last year's released a book. And then sometimes it's like specific memories. So I wrote down here, I may have mentioned this in one of the podcasts, but in July, because I went to a lot of, the last 2 years, I've gone to a lot of baseball games. I went to a lot of Clippers games, but there was one particular memory that just stood out for some reason. But it was on a Sunday in July. Myself, Tommy, Paige, and Hope, we went to a Clippers game, and it just was one of those days, perfect baseball day. Sun was out, beautiful. We're laughing, all of us just in the best moods ever. And at the end of it, they had just put one of my favorite taco places here called Torchy's. And I was like, guys, oh my gosh, y'all have never had it. We've got to go to Torchy's. And so after some convincing, we drove all the way across Polaris. Had those meals where you get done and you just feel, it made me not like it. I just feel giddy. Like I felt giddy in soul. I just felt so happy. And we're driving down, and I'm not the biggest country music fan, but it was just a country we put country music on, turned it up, we were in such good moods, we just continued to drive around and sing, and it was just one of the best nights. Fun. Well, not only that, but you could also mention your trip of merriment. Yeah? What's that? You had a trip of merriment. What was my trip of merriment? Oh, Ireland. So I will say, okay, so I never forget that. We talked about it. We talked forever about it. You were like you were kind of like
Oh,
I just got to say all of this.
I know.
Remember that?
Ireland was amazing. I will say, we joke about me getting to travel. I felt like I got to travel maybe even more than usual this year.
I did.
Yeah.
I traveled way more than usual.
I had several trips to Atlanta, which were great. Several trips to Greenville. Several trips to Raleigh. Several of those to Raleigh got to speak and pour in. And I as weird as, I mean, I hate to say it this way, but when you get to mix business with pleasure, I actually really like that.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going and doing something, but also enjoying. So Atlanta, Greenville, and Raleigh, and then started the year at Passion in Atlanta. Got to go to New York for a few days for the first time in a while. Spent a week in South Africa. Spent time in
further than I did.
Yeah, spent time in Colorado Springs.
Yep.
In Colorado. Spent time in Las Vegas for 4 days.
You went to L.A.?
Yes, spent a week in L.A. That was incredible. Got to meet some incredible people. Got to be with my sister, my niece, even my family were out for a couple days. L.A.'s always just life-filling for me. And then, got to go to Ireland for a week. It was travel. Was very, very fortunate. It was a beautiful, beautiful year. Got to see some beautiful things.
I traveled more than usual. I didn't go that far, though. But we did. We had that trip out west that was so much fun over the summer.
Oh yeah, that
did a lot.
Sparked you with wanting to travel more. You said this year made you want to travel more. Don't. Yeah.
No. It made me want to not just travel more.
That's so funny.
That face was great.
We did a whole podcast on travel.
It made me want to travel different places.
Oh,
not just travel more, because I've traveled.
I gotta be
plenty.
honest. When you go to the beach, I don't consider that travel.
Well,
that's not travel.
But we don't have a beach here.
I know.
It's travel.
You drove to it, but
we did not drive to it. I've driven to some beaches, flown to other beaches this year, but that was probably my favorite trip.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to Houston, went to Myrtle Beach. That was a work trip, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Went to Atlanta. That was kind of a work trip, but it was fun. Kind of a work trip, kind of not.
Yeah.
But it was.
Yeah.
I've been to Florida. I went out west. We went to Vegas for a couple of days and Utah for several days, and then
you lost a lot of money in Vegas.
I did not lose a lot of money in Vegas.
Oh,
might have lost a little, but not a lot. Went to Colorado. That was gorgeous. Loved it. Colorado, and finally trying to get home. That was a. I wasn't
this year
in love with travel. Travel wasn't fun, but traveling was fun.
Travel this year was a challenge.
Yeah, it was.
I got stranded a couple times.
Yeah. Houston, I said that one. So Aruba. I went a few different places, but I felt like I traveled more than normal. Especially over the summer. I really did, because we went. It was multiple trips. We had a trip we went to Aruba in May. Shortly thereafter, went on a family trip to Florida. We drove, came back, went on another trip a week and a half later to Houston. Came back a week and a half or so later. Went back down to Florida for Passion Camp. Came back a week later, went out west to Utah, Colorado. So literally from like May all the way through until August. Wow. I literally was probably home half the time.
And a lot of that is because some of that was booked.
Yeah, some of it was, speaking,
awesome.
I spoke at the Tree Church that had me go down there and speak to their youth camp. So it was that. We went to Passion Camp with ours. We didn't do anything, but went just to kind of participate Passion Camp with our youth. Spoke.
I forgot Daytona for a week.
That's what I said. Yeah. We went to. So there was a lot of travel. There was a lot of travel this year.
Yeah.
What else did you do?
One thing that I did more this past year than I've done in a long time is I went to more sports games and live concerts, live music.
You went and saw
always. Say what?
You went to more sports ball.
Yeah, I went to sports ball.
I went to my favorite sporting event that we went to this year, which we didn't do a lot.
Yeah.
But we went to the Huntington went to the Clippers. I had great seats behind it, and it was a blast.
I went to probably 4 or 5 Clippers games. I saw the Dodgers play when I was in LA.
Oh, that's cool.
And then I've said I want to do this for a while now, but especially just to spend time with my dad. Like I finally prioritized going to some Clemson football games with my dad.
Yeah.
Went with him to
one of which was not good.
Wake Forest, and then went with him to Clemson Stadium to see the Gamecocks. That was
You guys have a nice ride home?
He did not. He did not. I am what you would call a social sports person.
Yeah.
I am a win in Rome. I will never watch it or listen to it on my own, but I can fully enjoy the experience when I'm there.
That's good.
And I finally this started last year, but I've been to a few Blue Jackets games.
They're a lot of fun. Hockey is fun in person.
Yeah,
Hockey's fun.
and then the concerts I saw Love for the first time live with Trey Tucker and Jess. Went to Laney.
Mm-hmm.
Saw them for the third time. So I went to Paige and Tommy dragged me to my first country concert in a while. Jordan Davis. That was actually fun. Jordan Davis, he's a country guy. I went to Bud Dairy first.
Oh, that's fun.
And then walked over. That was a whole lot of fun. And then, of course, the Punk Rock Festival of the Century in Vegas. I went to, saw 30 of my favorite punk rock bands. And that was pretty epic. And I'm trying to, so funny. I'm trying to think of what else. I don't know. Oh, in the spring, I kind of hired I never really talked about it a lot, but it was more nutritional, but it had a kind of professional trainer that was training me.
Oh, that's right. You did that show.
I did not do a show.
I forgot about that.
But for 3 or 4 months, I did not ever do any of that. Would never. But I, put on a little bit. I feel like I've lost it all now. But I put on a little bit of muscle, a little bit of tone for 3 or 4 months. Did pretty strict little program. That was fun. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. What else? What about you?
Well, I think one of the things that was cool was getting to
I know book, because thinking back last year with me with the book, that takes up a lot.
It does. It was
a whole lot.
I feel like
from finishing it,
like
editing to releasing it to.
I feel like I didn't do anything else the entire spring except try to prepare to release that book.
Yeah.
Like even hobbies and stuff I didn't do them at all.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's like took over every waking moment of just, especially releasing it yourself. I feel like it was just constantly either you're in the editing process, you're finishing that, you're trying to get samples back, you're trying to figure out website and your marketing and your emails. It was a lot. Like I literally can't remember anything that happened the first half of the year. I feel like all of it was in preparation of that.
Yeah.
And then it happens and it's exciting and then it's over. And it's just over.
It's weird.
It's just gone. It's just over. Although I did get to speak at another French church. What was that? Beginning of November. So that was kind of nice to be a part of that again. So that was, I thought, one of my
Audible finally came out.
Your Audible finally came out.
I haven't even posted about it yet.
You haven't?
No.
I think a cool moment was getting to celebrate with Tucker and Anna in Colorado. So it was not even just going to visit Colorado, but we ended up working our trip out right when they were going to be there to officiate his wedding. And I just thought it was a really cool experience to have, like, I don't know, 50 or 60 people that we all know each other in our community well, but together, we knew everybody pretty well. To have, it's almost like to pick up a group of 50 of your friends and then to put it in an environment and to celebrate something. I just thought that was a really cool experience.
That was a lot of fun.
And even just afterwards, we stuck around and went to Rocky Mountain National Park and, going all the way up at 10 or 11,000 feet in the air, at the elevations and stuff. It was just that was probably my highlight trip of the year in summer. And I think that wedding. Yeah. And getting to see everybody.
Yeah.
Because we were gone for a week and a half before. So it's kind of a cool thing. When you're gone, you miss your friends and your family when they are connected to your church. You miss all that. And so getting to see everybody there, it was kind of a cool experience. So and
fun.
We did In-N-Out Burger like 4 times.
That was your first time with In-N-Out.
I don't think it was my first time, but it's the first time I remember.
Oh, I thought it was.
No, I think I've had it before. But I think it was the first time I really paid attention and remembered. And so we went like 3 times. We went in Vegas like twice. We went in Colorado maybe twice. We might have gone 4 times.
Oh.
So we went to that. So that was cool. And then
that's another one of those meals that when you get at the right moment, talking about earlier.
Yeah.
When I haven't had In-N-Out in a while, and I have In-N-Out, I just feel so happy in my soul.
Yeah. I do when I eat their burgers. I don't want to eat their French fries. They have some of the worst French fries I've ever had.
Because you didn't get it animal style.
We had it animal style once afterwards, and it's just dreadful. Like just for somebody who makes such good hamburgers, how can you make the worst French fries that exist? And so we did that. But I think probably really, I'd say kind of the biggest news that we had too this fall was the announcement. The announcement
You are
that not me, I'm not, but my daughter's pregnant.
But
No.
you're
My daughter. No, that's my
You're a
daughter's
grandpa.
I'm not a grandpa.
You're grandpa.
Yet. I'm not yet. But my oldest daughter, Lauren, and her husband are with child.
Yeah, you're gonna be a grandpappy.
Grandpappy. So we're excited for them, and the baby is due. Everything so far is looking. I probably, time we're releasing this, I don't have to probably do the math. I think it's probably about 17 weeks, 18 weeks. So I think they're due June, first part of June of 23. So that's
pretty young for a
I'm
grandpa.
very young,
He's
38 years old.
And
Okay. Aren't you funny?
so,
Aren't you funny?
okay, couple. Maybe we could have covered this in the first part, but you don't have any
What?
attachments to anything.
Attachments? To what?
Like, okay, so this is weird, but when I think on the year, I also think about, not that I don't watch a ton of TV, but usually there's like a show or two or a movie or two, or okay, this will be weird for you, I know, but you know what I did Saturday?
What'd you do?
Thinking through towards the end of the year, I made a top 10 list of my 10 favorite reads from 2022. So one book,
Whoa.
I've mentioned it already.
Let me go back and look at mine.
One book that really impacted me deeply was A Burning in My Bones, Eugene Peterson.
I'm almost done with it. Good book.
My soul it was just good for my soul. And I just resonated, was encouraged so much. But you will not care about this at all. The season finale of This Is Us happened earlier in the year.
It actually happened the other Sunday, a while ago.
That's not you're thinking about.
Never mind.
The series we did,
Yeah,
which I was hoping for a few more references, but it's okay. But
People say it's depressing.
they
say it's one of the most depressing shows ever.
It's sad and happy. It has human emotions. You'd hate it. It has, but I think, but it was amazing. The final scene of This Is Us was one of the most memorable things I will have etched in my memory forever. I know it sounds crazy.
Wow.
But then also, the first season in 3 years of Stranger Things happened. Another one of my favorite moments was the Stranger Things finale had Paige, Tommy, Anna, and Tucker over, and it was July 4th, and I cooked out and had them all over, and we ate hamburgers and had half-baked skillet cookies and watched the whole finale.
That sounds
I
like doing stuff like
it was so
with
fun.
people.
Yeah.
I like doing stuff with people.
It was so
I'm trying to think
I watched this finale of This Is Us with Zach and Rebecca.
I'm trying to think of okay, what were the series that were huge this year? You know which one we just finished?
I watched the whole In the Dark. Did you watch that?
No.
I just got into Tulsa King. You should watch Tulsa King. Oh, Yellowstone. Sorry,
Yellowstone. That was this year.
Yeah.
The two series that I just watched. The problem is I can't remember what was popular in March. I just can't remember any of that stuff that far back. But we just finished a series that someone told us, and it was surprisingly really good. Wednesday.
What?
Wednesday.
You watched it on Wednesday?
Yeah. Wednesday.
Wednesday you watched what?
Wednesday.
Yeah, but on Wednesday, what did you watch?
Wednesday.
You're going to watch it on Wednesday.
On Wednesday. Yeah, we're going to watch Wednesday on Wednesday.
So on Wednesday, you're going to watch.
Wednesday.
But what are you going to watch on Wednesday?
Wednesday. You should watch it. Do you know what it is?
You're talking about the one with Jenny Ortega from
Yes. It was so good. She was amazing in it. I'm telling you. It's Wednesday from the Addams Family.
So what's it about? How is it entertaining?
It was very entertaining.
Really?
It was fantastic. So just good acting.
Yeah.
Kind of the it has the whole Addams Family kind of a little bit nostalgia.
Okay.
I'll go back there from just that. But she's creepy and weird, and but she's kind of goes to this special school and where the outcasts are the strange, and she's trying to figure out there's people getting murdered and something else, and but it was just really well done. I just thought it was really good. And then we watched another one called The Peripheral. That was kind of fascinating, kind of futuristic.
I've heard about that.
It was kind of fascinating.
I tried getting into 1889 that Trey talked about.
18.
Oh, you know another one, because I know you got into Yellowstone. Did you ever watch 19?
That one was better.
What was it?
18.
With Tim McGraw and Faith Hill? That was incredible.
That one was the best.
That was actually incredible.
That was way better than Yellowstone. 18.
It's not better. It's different.
I thought it was better. I thought the acting was way better.
Did you ever watch 1923?
No, it hasn't come out yet. It's just coming out.
Oh, it hasn't come out.
No, it's coming out. It's coming out. It might be out by the time this episode
But
releases.
my buddy told me that I have to watch Tulsa King. It's from the creators of Yellowstone. It's on Paramount Plus. It's got Sylvester Stallone.
Oh yeah, no, I saw
Hilarious.
that. Really? I saw that. I wanted to see that. Okay.
What about movies? You see any good movies this year?
Nope.
You know, that's another thing I
Yeah, I
did this
did.
year.
Top Gun 2.
That was good.
Best movie of the year.
That's another thing I did this year more than usual is I saw, almost every movie that came out. But I don't remember which one.
I really believe I remember Top Gun 2 being the best movie. Again, nostalgia.
I didn't think it was the best.
It was the
this
best
year,
movie.
but everybody loved it.
It was the
I
best
thought
movie.
It was good. I didn't think it was amazing.
Well, then what was better? It was better than anything else that came out. Let's be honest. Come on.
I loved Scream that came out at the beginning of the year, but it's bad.
I didn't watch that.
I usually don't like scary movies, but it was. But
I don't care about horror.
That was the nostalgia because Scream was like middle in high school.
You know what was interesting? I can't remember the name now. Don't say darling. That was kind of weird.
That was pretty good.
A little weird, but it was kind of crazy, just like Thriller.
Going back, I think another thing that I remember, man, this feels so long ago, that was kind of like, I don't know if you call it a highlight of the year, but it was a really good, it was a healthy soul season for me, was going through Get Your Life Back by John Eldridge.
Oh, yeah.
And,
what are you talking about?
and the warm months of this year, I would take my chair outside in the mornings, and I just had a really good rhythm that was good for my soul of I don't know, just reflection and being outside and doing devotions outside, and continued going on more and more walks this year. That was
I
really,
did.
really good.
Again, this episode's coming out.
Ran a 10K?
Okay, that's impressive. I did this year, and we're pretty much now having to wrap up. I did this year a different, the one reading plan that you liked.
Mm-hmm.
Where you do 5 days a week instead of 7 days a week. It's probably a little more reading, but you read through the whole Bible in a year. I did it with a paper Bible instead of YouVersion. This
you
year,
like it?
I did YouVersion. Yeah, I did. I mean, I probably liked it. I like it better. I think maybe than I was able to do a lot more underlining, marking up, and I did this whole year in NLT. One of the things I've done, because I read the Bible every year. This is kind of like part of what I do in my devotions.
So
every
cocky.
year. Well, it's like a book. Like, you should be able to do it. Anybody should be able to do it, to be honest with you. I mean, you really could. It's like 15 to 20 minutes a day. And but I'm on par to finish on time. I'm not ahead. I'm not behind. I'm on the day, like every day, checking it off, doing well. And so this year was NLT, and I'll probably I'm going to maybe do a completely different translation that I've never really read next year.
Which one?
I don't know. I'm going to do something, but I've done NIV, NLT. I think ESV one year. I don't know. I'll pick one, but but I like the plan. I did the plan. I like it.
So personally, was this year half empty or half full?
Those are my only two options. Wow, that's
Half empty
interesting.
or half full?
It can't be full or empty. It can only be half empty or half full. Neither one of those is that great.
What do you mean?
One of them is only half full.
Yeah, but that means that means like an optimistic this one was on the.
I would have to say that this was a half full year. I think for me, I think in church and ministry we saw especially the first half of the year, and a lot of people did. We just saw significant growth in our church, which was exciting. We saw and we saw growth through the whole year, but we just saw like significant. Releasing the book, I think just that project and being on so long and to finally get it out there and to be done doing that was such a significant thing that I feel like that took up 2/3 of my year. And so I think I think if anything, it was just a big accomplishment. Yeah. So to me, I can't look back on this year, with anything other than probably half full year.
Do you feel like what were your deepest moments emotionally this year?
Oh, I don't know. It's a good question. I'll let you know when I figure it out. How about you?
Okay.
When did you cry on a rock this year?
Well, you know what? I actually don't think I did. I went back to what's it called? Hocking Hills. I went back to Hocking Hills.
Yeah, and you cried.
Well, I don't know. I don't remember, but it was the last time I got to play pickleball. I played pickleball.
You cried
Nick? No, because I always dominate in pickleball. It was Nick, Tucker, and
I wasn't there.
Alana.
It was Alana
and Anna.
You dominated.
I don't remember if I did that day. But then I drove to Hocking Hills.
That's cool.
And it was pretty cool.
I did learn pickleball, and I did buy a racket.
Oh, how did we forget about that? That was a big part of 2022.
know if that was a big part, but that was
a
we did
brand
it like
new hobby, and we
did it
fell
like
in
2
love
or
with
3
it.
times, and that was it.
We fell in love with it.
I did. I love
All
it.
right, our time is negative 4 minutes
okay.
30 seconds.
It was a good year.
Yep.
For me, I feel like if you were to take out the book, it was probably just like a good year.
But with the book,
I think with the book, I
great year.
think it made a really.
There's
good
something
year.
surreal about.
I think it made
a big accomplishment.
Yeah, so I think it made it like a really good / great year because of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to know. Like, what would you call it? Great year? You know. But I think I think that I think if you take that out, it was a good year.
Yeah.
I think there wasn't a whole lot of ups and a whole lot of downs. I think it was kind of a good year.
You're gonna be a grandpa.
That's gonna make next year be really big.
That's a big.
Next year could be a really great year.
Did you cry when you found out you were gonna be a
No, I
grandpa?
didn't. I didn't.
Will you cry when the baby's born?
Probably not. But I will be super excited. I did. Part of me gets excited because I'm like, you know, it's one thing you have like a relationship with your own kids, but then, you know, I'm not a baby person very much. But I think beyond that, a few years, when they get old enough to be like fun to play with, and it's like, oh, maybe he or she, don't know yet. We're gonna find out probably in a month or so. I don't know. You know, just like, what if they become like your little buddy and they just want to come hang out with you, and you go take them to go get ice cream? Like, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
You know, so
I love it. If you are watching this and you had a tough year, could I recommend going back to our end of the year episode from 2020? We really kind of created I don't know, somewhat vulnerable environment, talk about the power of processing.
Yeah.
The power of extracting the good and learning from the painful. And I think it actually would be a big encouragement for you. So if you're new to the podcast, or maybe you've had a tough year and you just need to rewatch it, I think I actually think back to that one.
Yeah.
Occasionally. So, but hope that 22 has been great for you. I want to go back to what an old mentor once told me at the end of a year, and I think about it every year. He said, if you can take lessons and not losses from this year, you're postured well to enter the next. And I think we all came out of 2020 thinking, all right, that's over with.
It's only up from here.
And I think 2021 and 2022, at least for me, globally, culturally, and even personally, have been just as complex as 2020.
Yep.
But we always have I saw the John Maxwell quote again the other day. He said, life's not about nearly as much about what happens to you as it is about what happens in you. And what happens in you is a choice. And so probably our next podcast, we'll talk a little bit more about how
will be in the New Year next podcast.
We will.
I just want to say Happy New Year.
Yep. Happy New Year. Hope Christmas was amazing.
Yeah. And
we'll see you in 2023.
That's it.
And by the way, because we don't know, I'm trying to think when our New Year podcast will come out. Even if you're not part of our faith context,
it'll come out the day before we begin like our fast and all that.
I was gonna say, if you want to get a head start, we really want to kick off our year strong.
Yeah. And
whether you're part of our church community or not, you can go to the x.church/fast. And there is a guide and
all kinds of resources.
All kind of resources. We want to kick the year off strong.
Yeah.
We want to start it with God and see the miracles that can happen in the new year. So hope 2022 has been great for you. If you haven't taken time to reflect, why not make a highlight list? Make a reflection list.
I enjoy yours every year.
Do you? Yes. Thank you for being a part of these conversations with us year after year and week after week. And we'll see you soon.